Hi guys, in this video I'd like to talk about coming on too strongly. Now this is for both genders and then for women pursuing men. Okay, so coming on too strongly. There's nothing worse than being interested in somebody and then they start hounding you or sending a trillion texts after the first date before you're really sure that you're even into them. Telling too much about how you feel about them and how you like them and how gorgeous they are and all this sort of stuff, laying it on really thick before the other person's even had a chance to decide whether they like you or not, or whether it's just the very beginning of things. It's a big turn off. It comes across as a little desperate. Now you might not be desperate. This might be just a person you've just gone wow to, and there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just the way that it comes across and is perceived, and it might be wrong, but this is human nature and this is what people do. So don't come on too strongly. Don't try to push it faster than it is. Or like I went on a date with a guy from India one time who they have a very different culture with all this sort of stuff over there. And it was the first date and he wanted to be my boyfriend by the end of the first date. And that was just far too fast. I didn't even know him yet. And I was like, oh, you're just a bit intense. And he's like, oh no, don't say the word intense. And I'm like, okay, he's heard this a lot before. And he just sort of kept hounding me and hounding me and hounding me to be his girlfriend on that first date. When I said no once, that should have been enough. I mean, he shouldn't have even asked me in the first place after the first date. That's quite ridiculous. But, you know, how can you know whether you want to be with somebody after one date? That's what dating is about, getting to know the person to see whether you want to take it to the next level, whether the next level be seeing that person or being in a relationship with them. So he just was like, oh, I just feel like, you know, if you want to do something, just do it. Blah, 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 blah. And like, it just, the conversation went on for such a long time about this. And I was quite a bit younger at the time. And, you know, yeah, how women are always trained to be polite and all the rest of the bullshit. Don't be polite, guys. Just fucking pull them up. It's quite disgusting. Now, I don't mean you have to be rude and call them names and everything. But definitely you have the right to be assertive and you have the right to walk away if it's making you uncomfortable or they're disrespecting your boundaries or anything like that. Don't feel like you have to be this meek little polite thing and humour them. So guys, don't come on too strongly, and the same for women. Don't come on too strongly. Unfortunately, women pursuing men quite often doesn't work. And it's a shame because it shouldn't be a gendered thing. It shouldn't be only men can chase, only men like to chase, only women are to be chased, and women should never ask a man out, and all this rubbish that it's been ingrained into us for so long. And it's absolutely ridiculous, but unfortunately this is the way it is. And if you want to be successful with most men, I would say don't pursue them. There's always exceptions to the rule, of course, because I pursued my last partner and it worked, but that was a very, very different case. Every other guy I've pursued in the past, it hasn't worked because they hate it. They don't like to be pursued. As much as they'll tell you, oh, it's so flattering if a woman pursues me and I wish she would and all the rest of it, they're not the women they end up with. Because they're the ones that like to pursue it. They don't like to think anybody's more interested in them than they are. So now you might, and this is great, you might be the kind of person to think, well, if a guy's intimidated by me pursuing him, he's not the kind of guy I want, so he can go take a flying leap, so I'm not going to stop doing it, and I'm going to wait till I hit the jackpot and hit the one that doesn't mind me asking him out. That's great. I think that's a really excellent attitude to have. But if you don't want to go all that time trying to find that needle in the haystack, and you actually just want something to work, then I'd say don't pursue men. It doesn't work. I've tried it many times myself in the past when I was younger, and it's not like I was a 5 or anything like that. I was like an 8 or a 9, but it still didn't work for me. It turned them off. And I'm not saying you can never show interest, but never show more interest than what they are showing, and don't show it before they have shown it or said it or whatever. So if you really like them, don't say, oh, I really like you, even if you know that they really like you. Wait until they've said it first. It's stupid, and it's tantamount to game playing, and it's crazy, and it's all the rest of it. But for some reason, men are still in this this ridiculous old-fashioned thing of women can't pursue men. It's probably that it's been drummed into them. I don't know why it would just be a natural thing. I think it's more of a societal, media, parents, peers belief pushed onto them. I could be wrong, but yeah, if you want to have more success, don't pursue men. But by the same token, if you couldn't stand to be with a man like that, and you'll just write him off the minute he goes stupid because you've pursued him, and you're looking for your needle in the haystack who will not mind being asked out, great, do that. But just be aware. So, just getting back to coming on too strongly. If it's in the very, very, very beginning of dating or whatever, sending the girl text, a whole bunch of texts saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so incredible," and staring at her like she's the most wonderful thing you've ever seen in your entire life. All of that is coming on a bit too strongly, and it can be a little bit off-putting and make the person a bit wary. Like, are you going to be sort of the crazy stalker, want to kill themselves if you break up with them? Sort of, it really does give off the wrong impression. It might just be that you've never met anybody as wonderful as them, but you kind of need to keep some of it to yourself, or it's going to come across as they're going to be concerned. So try not to come on too strongly. Now, don't take it to the other extreme and just treat them like a mate and say, hey, want to hang out, buddy, and all the rest of it. You don't have to take it from one extreme to the other. Just find the happy medium. Ask them out on dates and let them know that you're interested in dating them. But don't go over the top and pour out your emotions when it's so soon. Wait till you're actually have decided that you're in a relationship. Try to talk very normally until that stage. You can tell them you like them. You can tell them you had fun. You can tell them you admire traits about them. You can tell them they're beautiful. Don't lay it on thick and sending all these text messages when she first wakes up in the morning. Oh, you're so beautiful and I miss you. Save that for when you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship and you're both either in love or on your way to falling in love, that's when you can lay it on thick. But until then, keep some of it to yourself. Okay, so that's the end of this video, and from Aussieland, farewell.